Malaysia and Chair of the ICTLD 2018. Yang Berusaha Dr. Nagalingam Karupaya, the Director of the Institute of Teacher Education, International Languages. Yang Berusaha Encik Zahiruddin bin Muhammad Hanif, the CEO of Yayasan Guru Tun Hussein On and main collaboration partner ICTLD 2018.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
نحتاج المال كي نزداد جمالا جوهرنا لست أقلدهم إلا بما يرضيني كي أرضيني سأكون أنا مثلي تماما هذا أنا فقناعتي تكفيني ذاك يقيني لا 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 نحتاج المال كي نزداد جمالا جوهرنا هنا في القلب تلالا لا لا نرضي الناس بما لا نرضاه لنا حالا ذاك جمالنا يسمو يتعالى
Girl, you're my chamakachalo. Where you go, girl, I'm gonna follow. What you want, girl, just let me know. You can be my chamakachalo. Shawty, I'm gonna get ya. You know I'm gonna get ya. You know I'll even let you be my chamakachalo. Yes, I sharmana aja nachi ke dikhane. Ameri hole aja pari da jirane. Ameri yakkiyon se yakkiyan milane. Hum dono nakhile dikha. Wanna be my chamakachalo. Wanna be my chamakachalo. Wanna be my chamakachalo. Wanna be my chamakachalo. तू मेरी चमक चलो तेरी पिक्चर का मैं हीरो Give it to me दिल मुझको दे दो You can be my चमक चलो Shawty, I'm gonna get ya You know I'm gonna get ya Maybe I'll even let you be my चमक चलो कैसा शर्माना आजा नच के दिखा दे हाँ मेरी होले आजा पारी दा जिराने हाँ मेरी यक्कियों से यक्कियां मिलाने हाँ तू ना नखरे दिखा
Sungguhlah indah si ikal mayang Manisnya rupa bertahi lalat Janganlah mudah berkata sayang Asal berjumpa hati terpikat Sayang selasih tumbuh di muara Hujan di hulu jernih airnya Sayang kekasih berpada-pada Selami dulu hati budinya Adik jangan menggoda Jangan tunjuk lawa Biar cantik di mata Manis budi bahasa Bila dia merayu Jangan lupa diri Nampak macam pemalu Sudah ada istri Abang apa kurangnya Suka nak melaram Bikin hati adik naik geram
Geram bedak, aku bedak.
Wah kepai yang gugur di rimba Biarkan saja tumbuh benihnya Sayang menyayang teruna darah Asalkan saja ada batasnya
Thank you, Pawaris. Ladies and gentlemen, the cultural dance entitled I've Got Rhythm, performed by students of the International Languages Campus, was choreographed by Puan Nurhazian Matsapian, a senior lecturer from the International Languages Campus.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we would like to invite Al-Fadil Ustaz Abu Hisham bin Yusuf Al-Basuti to lead the recitation of the dua.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. O Allah, Master of power and glory, we thank you for your blessing of faith, health, peace, and serenity. We thank you for granting us this opportunity to gather at this international conference on Teacher Learning and Development 2018. O Allah, bless our conference and protect us from all evil and unworthiness. Bestow on this conference your blessing and mercy. Guide us in our pursuit of our aspirations, in fulfilling our duties, and the hope and expectation of our family, religion, and nation. Bestow on us beneficial knowledge and good deeds, a perfect understanding, and a sound intellect by your mercy, O the most merciful of the merciful ones. O Allah, we seek your blessings and humbly ask for your guidance. Grant upon us a wealth of knowledge and benefit from this conference. Bless us with the inspiration to find ways to excel in our work, in inspiring teachers and educators, and help us to work together and to encourage each other to excel. O Allah, grant us to acquire knowledge that will be beneficial to the people around us and universally to the whole of mankind. And let it be a blessing for us in this world and the hereafter. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار والحمد لله رب العالمين تقبل الله منكم.
Thank you, Ustaz Abu Hisham, for the dua. Yang berbahagia, Datuk Dr. Amin bin Senin, Director General of Education, Ministry of Education, Malaysia, representing Yang Berhormat Dr. Mazli bin Malik, Minister of Education, Malaysia. Yang berbahagia, Dr. Muhammad Nasruddin bin Basar, representing the Rector, Institute of Teacher Education, Malaysia, and Chair of ICTLD 2018. Yang berusaha, Dr. Nagalingam Karupaya, the Director of Institute of Teacher Education, International Languages Campus, and Co-Chair of the conference. Yang berusaha, Encik Zahiruddin bin Muhammad Hanif, the CEO of Yayasan Guru Tun Husin On, and the main collaboration partner of ICTLD 2018. Directors of Departments, Institute of Teacher Education, Malaysia. Directors of Institute of Teacher Education Campuses. Directors of the State Education Departments, principals and headmasters, lecturers and teachers, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. Welcome to the opening of the 4th International Conference on Teacher Learning and Development, ICTLD 2018.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 4th ICTLD 2018 will discuss and deliberate on sharing visions in changing times to enhance pedagogical practices. The theme of this year's ICTLD is as follows: sharing visions in changing times, developing transformative pedagogies. The objectives of the fourth ICTLD conference are to share expertise and knowledge of the teacher education implementation among practitioners, to generate good practices in innovation in teacher education based on research, to produce and strengthen network and collaboration in teacher education research, and to generate lifelong aspiration.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to cordially invite Yang Berbahagia Dr. Muhammad Nasruddin bin Basar, representing the Rector, Institute of Teacher Education Malaysia, to deliver his welcome speech.
Yang berbahagia, Datuk Dr. Amin bin Senin, Director General of Education, Ministry of Education Malaysia. Yang berusaha, Dr. Nagalingam Karupiah, Director Institute of Teacher Education, International Languages Campus, Kuala Lumpur, Co-Chair of ICTLD 2018. Yang berusaha, Encik Zahiruddin bin Muhammad Hanif, Chief Executive Officer, Yayasan Guru Tun Hussein On, Main Collaboration Partner of ICTLD 2018. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and salam sejahtera. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to the 4th ICTLD International Conference hosted by Institute of Teacher Education Malaysia. The theme of the conference is Teacher Learning and Development, Sharing Vision in Changing Times, Developing Transformative Pedagogy. It is an honor of attend such a great event that have such a distinguished body of highly reputed keynote and plenary speakers and experts in the field in one place. We live in global village. Economic, globalization, and science and technology advances have brought people closer to each other. It takes the joint effort of entire global community to uphold and share interests of mankind and tackle common challenges. As such, the themes of the conference has given a good platform for all interest parties to reflect upon and share their experience pertaining to current 21st century pedagogy. The new learning will hopefully help to chart future direction to ensure that success transformative pedagogy through both personal and fraternal resolve and commitment. We are here to take a pragmatic but necessary step and continuous challenge to enhancing the profession of teaching. To effectively benefit from technology and application, it is essential that education professionals set themselves ready for transforming effective way to transformation in their context. How we approach that must reflect the realities of the today education with an eye for tomorrow opportunity. The growth of our mindset and the pertinence to the aspiration of sustainable development, which require participatory teaching and learning method that motivate and empower learner to change their behavior and taken action toward a fruitful learning experience. As the conference chair, I would like to acknowledge here that the success of the conference result from the tireless effort of the different working committees, which have been planning and organizing this event. Besides that, I would like to personally thank each of every sponsor for their contribution, which has given an added value for this conference. Lastly, I wish you all a success conference and very pleasant stay in Kuala Lumpur. It is my hope that this conference will be a rewarding and productive experience for presenters and participants as well. The fruit of our deliberation will provide invaluable input to educators and other professionals within the education service as they consolidate the experience garnered plan for the years ahead and foster change through transformative pedagogy. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Salam. Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Dr. Muhammad Nasruddin.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are very honored to have with us here this afternoon Yang Berbahagia Dr. Amin bin Senin, Director General of Education, Ministry of Education Malaysia, who is representing Yang Berhormat Dr. Mazli bin Malik, Minister of Education Malaysia, to officially declare open the 4th International Conference on Teacher Learning and Development, ICTLD 2018, and to deliver his keynote address.
Thank you very much. Before I start reading the keynote from the minister, I would like to comment about the performance, the dance performance by our student. Yeah, right, the student. I'm quite happy because our teachers like to dance. This means yes, I'm a very happy student and hopefully become a happy teachers indeed. And I would like to convey them salam from the Minister of Education because it cannot come today to be with you and give a speech and the keynote today because the last minute invitation to perform a Hajj last night he depart from KLIA and about 10 days I think I was still coming back to Malaysia. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang berusaha Dr. Muhammad Nasruddin bin Basar, representing Director, Institute of Teacher Education, Ministry of Education Malaysia, Chair of ICTLD 2018, yang berusaha Dr. Nagalingam Karupia, Director, Institute of Teacher Education, International Languages, Campus Kuala Lumpur, Co-Chair of ICTLD 2018, yang berusaha Encik Zahiruddin bin Muhammad Hanif, Chief Executive Officer, Yayasan Guru Tun Hussein On, main collaborations partner of ICTLD 2018, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizer for inviting me to officiate the 4th International Conference on Teacher Learning and Development. It is indeed a privilege and honor for me to be here as part of this significant event. Congratulations to the organizing committee and all parties involved for making this conference a reality. I would like also to take this opportunity to welcome our honored guests, distinguished speakers and participants. I understand that the participants attending this conference came from all over the world, and as such, on behalf of the governments of Malaysia and particularly the Ministry of Education, Malaysia. I wish you a warm welcome to Malaysia, and I hope you will have a memorable time here. Ladies and gentlemen, ICTLD 2018 is a laudable initiative by the Institute of Teacher Education's International Languages Campus and providing an important platform for discussions and knowledge sharing by participants to develop new ideas and practices that can be beneficial to education field. The theme of this year's conference is Sharing Visions in Changing Times, Developing Transformative Pedagogies. One important aspect of 21st century education is the need for continuous professional development so as to improve the implementations of appropriate transformative pedagogical approaches in the classroom. The objectives of the conference reflect challenges and issues in education, focusing on the best practices and innovations along with strengthening of network and collaborations in teacher education, as well as sharing of expertise and knowledge of the teacher education by practitioners. The goal is to provide a platform for education policymakers, practitioners, and scholars from various nations to share views and aspirations in changing times with the purpose of improving teaching methods in the classroom and developing transformative pedagogies. Alvin Toffler, in his book, Future Shock, 1970, I read this book during my undergraduate studies, 1972, I think. No, 79. Posited that the illiterates of the 21st century, he said, will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Indeed, learning is a dynamic field, and it will always keep developing as human knowledge progresses. The learning landscape today is enriched with a variety of new ideas and models. We need to keep abreast with the key concepts that shape the 21st century learning, namely heutagogy, pedagogy, and cybergogy, especially in facing the fourth industrial revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, the current era does not give room for factory-style learning that force our students to learn the same thing at the same time. And this is because knowledge is readily accessible through various means, such as internet, and this poses a challenge in our education system. How do we identify the best practice possible ways to educate the young minds? As information is no longer the domain of teachers, students are less dependent on us. Our role have changed from being information providers to being facilitators. We no longer dispense facts and figures, but instead we are expected to facilitate thinking at a higher order, such as teaching students to be critical thinkers so that they can, amongst others, make good decisions like differentiating between genuine and false news. As it is, many of us teachers and lecturers no longer use only chalk and talk. Instead, we use PowerPoints, video clips, and other means. We no longer solely depend on textbooks and books entirely for our sources of information, but instead rely more on the internet and sharing of information with other educators. Teachers who are infused with all pedagogies have to change the way they approach teaching due to the fact that the new generation gets bored easily, hence the need to infuse excitement from multiple sources. Therefore, pedagogical changes should be at the focal point in identifying the best practices that suit the new generations. Today's generation are active learners, and they see themselves as participants and in creating information and ideas. Therefore, according to McLaughlin and Lee, 2008, the 21st century instruction has moved to focus on 3 pedagogical principles: personalization, participation, and productivity. These principles require learning through authentic real-world context, project-based learning, and problem-solving. As such, there is a need for teachers and educators to relook at the ways they approach the teaching and learning process in their own classroom. In fact, our daily lives have and will be altered constantly with rapid technology advancements. For example, our preferences and choices are guided by artificial intelligences, such as Facebook, suggesting who should be our friends, and Siri. Whoever use Apples, they know Siri, managing our calendar. Similarly, students are now able to use medias such as camera phones that enable them to share experiences with others in virtual space, while Instagram and Twitter allow them to upload their experiences instantaneously for public comments. Ladies and gentlemen, with rapid change in technology, there is a need to redefine the role of teachers. Future work will be based on adaptive workforces, organized around projects, supported by embedded training. Hence, different kinds of education is needed in order to produce future employees. As such, more richer and engaging pathways to learning should be made available that creates a positive learning community through the acquisitions of content knowledge and the development of intrapersonal and interpersonal competencies. Curricula and pedagogies are shifting from foundational knowledge and content mastery to deep learning and acquisitions of 21st century competencies, as well as from teacher-fronted teaching to student-centered learning. The fact is, teachers no longer have the monopoly of knowledge. Teachers need to restitute themselves professionally and shift their paradigm, moving away from a style they learned and have probably taught throughout their entire careers. Teachers should focus on a holistic learning experience. They could explore various new and creative approaches to enhance the teaching and learning process. One such example is the opening learning spaces concept, whereby students are no longer confined to formal setting, the four walls of the classroom. Rather, the world become their playgrounds as they immerse themselves in learning from their observation and experiences in the informal setting too. Teachers also need to move from pedagogy-based teaching, which is teacher-led learning, to pedagogy, where students are capable to manage their own learning and decide their own paths to learning. This is necessary since the emergence of global movement calls for new models of learning. There is a need to reform formal education to enable new forms of learning that are needed to tackle complex global changes. This will allow for the new generation to be well prepared for today's and future workplace. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not enough anymore to just have students active in their learning. It is not enough anymore to just have students active in their learning. Any task they perform as a part of their learning process must be carefully formulated so that they are somehow meaningful and educationally useful. Meaningfully, interactivity requires students to actively process information and apply it to a real-world context, perhaps through simulation and problem solving. However, meaningful interactivity needs not involve expensive technologies. For students, the shift in focus is from recipients of knowledge to being literate self-navigators of learning who are able to take charge of their own learning and are able to adjust their skill sets to suit problems as they evolve. So what do we expect from teachers and the fourth industrial revolution era and beyond? We hope for teachers to be open to change, have flexibility and empathy, optimistic, have the desire to empower their students, and become facilitators and models of lifelong learning. Most of these qualities are not really new, but in light of the Industrial Revolution, these qualities are a must in teachers if they are to create learners who can serve as higher agents in their own learning in a technology-driven world. We need to have a change of paradigms and how we do things in the education arena. We cannot continue with our current paradigm because circumstances are changing. For example, perhaps there is a need to have a more fluid curriculum that adaptable to change instead of the static curriculum and courses information we now possess. This is another food for our thought. However, there is also a need to ensure that any decision taken will not compromise the human element in our education system, and that all children, including children with special needs, will not be left behind in these fast-changing times. Thus, to proceed, we need to carry out further research in all areas such as the curriculum and in light of the changes brought by the industrial revolutions. This conference is one of the steps in the right direction. We are here to share a common vision, that is to develop transformative pedagogies for the betterment of our education system. Ladies and gentlemen, Nelson Mandela describes education as most powerful weapon that can be used to change the world. As the theme of the conference aptly states, sharing visions and changing times as necessary in the education fraternity. We are gathered here today to step up our efforts in improving the quality of teacher education, turning challenges into opportunities. The Malaysian community places great emphasis on education, and the Malaysian government has always invested heavily on it. While the Ministry of Education have successfully implemented major reforms in our teacher education system in recent years, much more needs to be done. I therefore hope that this conference will pave the way in reforming existing pedagogies to the ones that will fulfill the needs of the new generation and ultimately meet the aspirations of the national education system for our new Malaysia. Before I end my speech, I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to the conference organizing committee, speakers, participants, and guests. Your involvement, dedication, and commitment has ensured the success of the conference. On that note, it is with great pleasure that I officially declare open the 4th International Conference on Teacher Learning and Development. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Yang Berbahagia, Dr. Amin bin Senin, for your inspiring keynote address. And we kindly request Yang Berbahagia Dato' to remain on stage and welcome the other VIPs on stage for the ICTLD gimmick launch. Thank you, Yang Berbahagia, Dato' Dr. Amin bin Senin.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to invite Yang Berbahagia Dr. Muhammad Nasruddin bin Basar, representing the Rector, Institute of Teacher Education and Chair of the conference, accompanied by Yang Berusaha Dr. Nagalingam Karupaya, the Director of the Institute of Teacher Education International Languages Campus, the co-chair as the conference, to present a small token of our appreciation to Yang Berbahagia Dr. Amin bin Senin, the Education Director, Ministry of Education Malaysia, and Yang Berusaha Encik Zahiruddin bin Muhammad Hanif, the CEO of Yayasan Guru Tun Husin Ond and the main collaboration partner of ICTLD 2018. Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Nasruddin. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the opening ceremony of the 4th International Conference on Teacher Learning and Development, the ICTLD 2018. Before we end, let us all rise to sing the IPGM song.
Institut Pendidikan Guru kami sentiasa bersedia menjulang etika kerja, berkorban jiwa raga, menjunjung aspirasi bangsa negara tercinta. Kami mahu berintegriti keunggulan peribadi, menceraskan keimanan, mendidik anak bangsa. Kami bangga menjadi guru, kerjaya dihormati, tidak jemu menimba ilmu, makin setulus hati dan budi. Membina wawasan berintegriti, keunggulan peribadi, menceraskan keimanan, mendidik anak bangsa. Kami bangga menjadi guru, kerjaya dihormati, tidak jemu menimba ilmu, makin setulus hati dan budi. IPG Malaysia berikrar membentuk guru berkualiti, menyayang berakhlak mulia, mendukung visi-misi IPG, mendukung visi-misi IPG.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we request the participants to come forward for a photography session with the VVIP.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Dr. Amin bin Senin. Announcing the departure of Yang Berbahagia Dato' Dr. Amin bin Senin, Director General of Education, Ministry of Education, Malaysia, accompanied by Yang Berbahagia Dr. Muhammad Nasruddin bin Basar, representing the Rector, Institute of Teacher Education, Malaysia, Yang Berusaha Dr. Nagalingam Karupaya, Director of the Institute of Teacher Education, International Languages Campus, Yang Berusaha Encik Zahiruddin bin Muhammad Hanif, CEO of Yayasan Guru Tun Hisin Ond and the main collaboration partner of ICT LD 2018.